President Trump has a fresh and urgent warning for Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro.
So how far would you go to take Maduro out of office?
I don't want to say that,
But you want to see him out?
his days are numbered.
Can you rule out an American ground invasion?
I don't want to rule in or out. I don't talk about it.
That came during a sit-down with Politico released Tuesday. Trump blames Maduro's regime for sending drug dealers and drugs into the U.S., including members of the notorious Tren de Aragua gang. Trump made a distinction between those people and regular, everyday Venezuelans, especially those living legally in the U.S., saying in part, quote, "I want the people of Venezuela, many of whom live in the United States, to be respected. I mean, they were tremendous to me. They voted for me 94% or something, and they were treated horribly by Maduro." An atrocious crime called sextortion is on the rise. Teenage boys are the major target, particularly American, and an international crime syndicate is thought to be behind it. A group called 764, which has branches in Russia, Europe, Africa, and the United States, is what Attorney General Pam Bondi calls, quote, "one of the most heinous online child exploitation enterprises we have ever encountered." The group uses social media to gather information about a victim, their interests, places they frequent, even their friends. Then they text them posing as, say, a local and flirtatious young woman. They spend time gaining the trust of the victims before convincing them to send inappropriate pictures of themselves, and that becomes blackmail material. And here is where it turns absolutely just heinous. They threaten to send the pictures to family and friends if they don't pay them off. The sextortion scam recently led to the suicide of a 15-year-old, Bryce Tate, but his parents say that while he pulled the trigger to end his life, it was the criminals who effectively murdered him. After getting Tate to send them explicit pictures, they demanded $500 from the teen. All he could offer them was $30. It was all the money he had. But the criminals sent a barrage of 120 messages to keep him engaged before suggesting he kill himself because, as they said, his life was already over. And unfortunately, that is just what happened. So if you have a teenager, go have an uncomfortable conversation with them. It may save their life. Moving on. If you are a user of Instacart, the popular grocery shopping and delivery app, you are not going to like this next story. I say that with confidence because I use it a couple times a month and I am pissed about this. A study released on Tuesday by Consumer Reports found that customers shopping for the same item in the same store on the same day sometimes ended up paying wildly different amounts. Take, for example, a Target in North Canton, Ohio. One day in September, one customer bought a jar of Skippy peanut butter for $2.99, while another bought the same jar for $3.59. At a Safeway in Seattle, the study found 5 different prices for Oscar Mayer deli turkey that had a 23% swing from a low of $3.99 to a high of $4.89. Why? If the data doesn't just grind your gears, the response from Instacart and Target will. Instacart said that 10 retail partners, apparently including Target and Safeway, mimic in-store markup on the Instacart app to, quote, better understand consumer preferences. So put another way, they're trying to find out what customers will overspend on and what they won't. Here's a universal customer preference. None of us want to pay the most we can to make a sandwich. Target told the Post, quote, Target is not affiliated with Instacart and is not responsible for prices on the Instacart platform. Albertson, which owns Safeway, didn't respond to a request for comment. And Instacart told us that these tests are never based on personal or behavioral characteristics. So if, say, you buy a lot of eggs, the app won't jack up the price on eggs just because of it. It's more like Russian price tag roulette. The study appears to confirm what Instacart said there, finding no evidence that it price hikes your favorite things. But the report is certain that Instacart does have the ability to do that. And in an era where affordability is king, that's a dangerous and slippery slope they're on right now. For more on these stories and everything else you could possibly want to know, check out the New York Post in print or online. And don't forget, like and subscribe to the New York POSTcast wherever you get your podcast and on YouTube. I promise you'll be glad you did.